Hi all, in this video I'm going to talk about how to do an independent sample t-test in terms of when it is an appropriate test to use, how to run the analysis in SPSS, and how to analyze the output. So, an independent sample t-test is appropriate when you have a metric data variable and you want to compare two independent samples or two groups on how they are different in terms of their means on that metric scale. For example, if we have two independent groups of males and females and you wish to compare the mean score on a continuous variable such as satisfaction level, which in this case was measured on a Likert scale. So therefore we have a continuous variable and we have two groups. And we want to know whether there is a difference between males and females in terms of their satisfaction level with Delhi Depot. Okay, so the SPSS procedure is in the lecture slides. You can follow along. It's also in the textbook. So, in terms of doing the analysis, we go to Analyze, Compare Means, and we want Independent Samples t-test. So the test variable that we have is satisfaction, x9, and I select it and I press the arrow that moves it into the test variables box. And the other variable, the grouping variable, is gender. So I select gender and the arrow that moves it towards the grouping variable. I then need to define groups, and in this case group 1 is males, which was coded as 1, and group 2 in this particular data set is 0, is how females were coded. If you had coded males and females as 1 and 2, you would then enter 1 and 2 into these boxes. I hit continue and I hit OK. So we have our output in the output window, but I have moved it into, I'm going to talk to the slides. So step 1 here is to check the significance level of your Levine's test for the equality of variances. So within independent sample t-test, we have two different test statistics that we can look at. One where equal variances are assumed and one where variances are not assumed. And it's in analyzing this data here that we can find out whether we need to look at the top row where they are assumed or whether we need to look at the bottom row where they are not assumed. So if the significance of f is greater than 0.05, we say that equal variances are assumed, so we would use this top row of statistics to do further analysis. However, our significance is 0.000, so it's less than 0.05, so we use the t-statistics that relate to where variances are not assumed. So we're going to look at this bottom row. Alright, so now that we're looking at the bottom, we now know that we need to look at the bottom row. We go to step B, which is the t-test for equality of means. So here we need to look at the significance, 0.000, which is less than 0.05, which means the difference between the means is significant. So then we need to compare means, which is step C up here, this box where we can see that the male mean is 4.35, whereas the female mean is 5.07. So what we can then interpret here is that Delhi Depot's female customers are significantly more satisfied than their male customers. So if you remember from the introductory lecture when I used this exact output or exact analysis showing you that the means were different, now we can conclude that this difference between males and female satisfaction level is significant. What conclusions can we draw from this? Well, we can either say that Deli Depot's female customers are more satisfied, and either Deli Depot has two strategies they can then implement. They can either target females specifically, or that they need to make changes in order to increase male satisfaction with Deli Depot. What those changes need to be is unknown based on this analysis. So that concludes the independent sample t-test. In the following video, I will show you how to, when to do a paired sample t-test, how to do the paired sample t-test, and how to analyze and draw inferences from a paired sample t-test.